Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, whatever it might be, and welcome back to another live stream or live and alive on this beautiful Thursday. That's right, it's Thursday, January 29th. We're back alive and alive for another live stream. Today, we will be recording, well, we will be recording my review of Arknights Endfield. Release it as a video sometime soon because I do plan to edit it a bit. Because if you've seen my streams, you know I'm a bit of a rambler. I'm a bit of a yapper, and I tend to get a bit sidelined. But we're gonna go through what I like and what I don't like about Endfield, and like get a bit of the goods and the bads and what I think Endfield will end up looking like in the future. Although I do plan on doing that with my game recording. Let me hide that other PNG there and put myself in the corner. Update. Oh, this is just maintenance on the 30th. It's fine. Wait, is it today at midnight? Oh, it is. Starts today at midnight. Okay. But yeah. So let me log in, check if there's anything that I really need to do right away. I haven't been able to log in into Endfield today. I was busy on the OG Arknights, trying to get Pepe and Oshi Altar, which I did. It only costed me 300 pulls, where I got 5 Harukas. But you know, it is what it is. Took me a few hours. Congrats on the Pepe. Now M9 her. I'm working on it. She's already E2. So that's being worked with. Yeah, you can see I haven't even logged in today. Hello, game? Why are you walking? Stop that. So let me do just these quick things real quick. I just want to send these delivery things just so I don't have to worry about them midway, because I'm gonna forget about them. Oh, I have to do this first. Also, how you doing, Choice? Hopefully having a good day. Yet no single Haruka on the Hoshi banner. Oh, my steak too butter, or my steak too juicy, and my lobster too buttery. I have my issues, right? I should just write in a notepad what I want to talk about. Things that I like. Combat. Make / team synergy. Choice, I had 5 Harukas. I'm pod 5 Haruka. And I am pod 2 M3. Because I got a random off-banner M3. I didn't get a single other off-banner. Just straight up 5 Harukas. Lucky you though. I don't need healers. I really don't. But it is what it is. I still ended up getting Hoshi, Alternate, and Pepe, so that's fine. Things. You know what? This is controversial, but I actually didn't mind Valley 4. I liked Valley 4. Maybe it's because I like my slop. Let me put this here. Instead of 6 limited, you got 5 non-limited. Yeah, I can always get another Haruka. Imagine if I had like 5 Hoshi alters. That would be crazy. It's better healer than Iya alter though. Yeah, but I don't care about Iya alter. I already had M3. Like, and she's not gonna give more buffs than M3, I feel like. So, and I can already, for example, out heal the Tower of Flames with just M3. So, you know, finally managed to get. Oh, oh, oh! I shouldn't be muted. Okay, I'm getting baited in the Holy Lord of 26. I take 2 days off of streaming and I immediately get baited. But yeah, like M3 always does goddamn like 25 attack speed. With S2 it's 50 attack speed, right? So like I think M3 ends up being better than Haruka, no? I mean, I haven't used Haruka S3, so maybe that's where I won't where I'll find her use mostly. But I don't know. What else do I like? Factory. Likely my type of tism. What else that I wanna really point out that I like? I like that gearing is easy. I mean, yeah, I've been using her S2. That's why my S2 on Haruka is M3'd. Because that's what I've been using. One thing that I might do though soon is upgrade my Exia Alter S3 since I have Oshi Alter now. So I might start going Exia Alter S3 with Oshi S3. I might be doing that soon. Gearing is easy. I like the gacha. I like. You can say, oh, Raikon, but you barely interacted with it. Yes, because I haven't felt the need of it. Didn't I insta M3? You mean Haruka? Yes, Haruka I did instantly M3. Exia Alter is also M3 S2, but not her S3. Let me be more specific. Like the gacha, because I don't feel the need to pull. Have fun, whatever you're gonna do, choice. What else? What is some bosses feel hard? You're gonna sleep? Well, enjoy your sleep. Fuck Marble. Or I'm gonna make it a video so I can't have slurs. Or not slurs, swears. Screw Marble. Gloomeroy. I hate that boss. What else do I like? Like setting up relays. Like the character designs. Please release Rossi soon. Are you really a Hoya shield? Yeah. Very big Hoyo shield. I mean, I played every Hoyo game except Honkai Impact 3rd since launch. I played Genshin on launch. I played HSR on launch. I played ZZZ on launch. And I did play Honkai Impact 3rd until Flame Scion. Because then they released Chapter 2 and then like they fucked over the story or something. Like I couldn't go back to like play the main story that I was at, so I just left. What else do I like exploration. I mean, you want... I'm calling myself a Hoyo shill mostly for the title, because I have plenty of issues with Genshin Impact, HSR, and ZZZ, right? But it's the title is mostly there for bait. Love the battle pass. The fact that you can get a lot of it plus the 6-star, like raise 6-star weapon. Plus currency back. I think it's 110%, right? You get like, it costs 29, you get like 3 extra on that. You get like 32, I think. Cutscenes are pretty good. Kinda wish Enfield was on Steam like Wooba and R199. Who knows in the future? I think they haven't because they probably made a deal with Epic Games. That's my main guess. Although I'm using their main client, so. Voice acting, peak. Yeah, peak EN. Specifically. Haven't heard the others. What else do I really like?
Still waiting for something?
Also, updates. I got my last right to 90.
The training must continue.
I'm trying to think like specifically things that I like that stand out. Isn't Epic's cut 15% compared to Steam's? I wouldn't know. Character meta, like I think I talked about meta, haven't I? Character designs, no, I haven't. Team meta is super free-to-play friendly. 4 stars are king. Even on Levitane's Steam, you can go Akekuri, Levitane, and Wolfguard. Or not even that. All of Levitane's team is free to play, except Levitane, because you get every character for free. The variety from each temple is so lackluster because of no 3 stars. I think that's not just an issue because of the lack of 3 stars. It's also just the issue of a smaller roster, right? Going from Arknights that has like 400 plus operators. Of course, you're gonna notice a bit of a repetitive like deal there, but I don't think it's the fault of the game. It's just the game has been out for a week. So there's just not enough characters to fill the banners with. What else about the game do I really like that I just want to point out? I've already mentioned the battle pass. Did other gachas have a small roster problem? Yeah, every 3D platform, 3D gacha game has this issue. And also, yeah, 3D models take 10 times this amount of time to make compared to chibis and sprites. And also, they have like 10 times more detail. That's why, like, Arknights is able to have such a strong like amount of characters because their production line is much shorter compared to like 3D gachas. What else do I like? What else do I like that I really want to point out? Like, I don't... one thing that I want to mention is, like, I didn't have an issue with the tutorials like other people did. But it's not something that I like, just something that I didn't have an issue with. Right, so I don't want to put it on the list of things that I liked. As never mind the tutorials, right? Because that's not something I like. That's just something I don't have an issue with. UI's pretty good. Except going from top view to normal view in AIC. Please make escape. Remove top view. Did I manage to get 620 on CC before? I haven't touched contingency contract. I was busy farming for Pepe, which I did, which means now I can probably spend a bit of time playing Enfield, playing CC before. What else? Me specifically, Valentine wasn't as bad as people make it be. I like Wooling aesthetics. But to be honest, it's just the aesthetics, because the deliveries that they make you do on this fucking place is criminal. I don't know, ironically, the tutorials were bad for me if I sat down and read them. When I speed read and learned by trial, it was a very smooth experience. My thing with the tutorials, like, because when I see people complain about the tutorials, I don't think about the ones in the simulation thing, right? I don't think about these. What? Give me a second. I have my model on, that's why it's a bit extra laggy. I'm not talking about these ones, because these ones are optional. Right, all of these are optional. Right, you don't have to do them. When I think about tutorials, I think about the ones that they like, oh, here's this thing, please do this and do that. Right, when that's what I think about tutorials. Like the extra simulation ones, that I'm not counting those, because those are purely optional. Lore brewing or lore theory crafting. Like, I want to say lore theory crafting, but I don't know if that's the right word. Just reading the files of each character. Like, there's a lot of great world building. That's what I'm putting. Because the other day I was reading to each character's files, and stuff, and like I was like learning that Shishao is still in Talos 2, and Shen's mother has it. I didn't know about that. I learned that because I read Shishao. I read Shen's files. I read Ardelia has a whole conflict of a previous non-close self being sick, and now this current one not being sick. Right, so I learned a lot about Ardelia that way. Right, that kind of stuff. People complain about that. Yes, that is the main complaint people have about Enfield so far. They said too many tutorials. Let me specify. Operator files. World items in the world. Insane? Yes, it is insane. People just don't want to read, and they just want to get all the... Essentially, one of the main things that I saw that people were having an issue with is that they weren't immediately gratifying, like getting satisfaction from the game. Like that could be an issue, right? But they don't want to do any of the setup to get the rewards. That's literally one of the issues that I saw people were having. Is it like, oh, why, for example, the gacha system? Oh, why don't I have immediately right away all the 120 pulls, to pull for Levitain? Like, come on, the game is so greedy and stuff. You do get enough pulls to pull for Levitain, by the way. I am living proof that you can get enough pulls for Levitain. Let it load. I have my model on, that's why it's extra laggy. At the moment, I have 60,000 worth of currency. That equals to like 140 pulls so far. And I could guarantee myself Levitain. I'm not, because I don't care for Levitate. No, I actually have more. I have 158 pulls. Right? I have 158 pulls. And I'm free to play, by the way. I haven't spent a single dime in this game. I can guarantee myself a Levitate if I wanted. Or sorry, not Angelina. Gilberta. Or Yvonne if I wanted. Which I'm probably not gonna go for either 3 of them. And this is currency, not counting endgame loops, events, that kind of stuff. I mean, I can start pointing out some things that I don't like. Spark Leviathan, and I got more than 40 pulls again. Yeah, again, I think a lot of the issue that these people have is that they want immediately. Right. They want that immediately. They want the pulls right away. A lot of the pulls in this game are very backloaded. They are towards the, like, once you get towards the end, you'll notice the amount of pulls that you've gotten. Like, because a lot of the gacha games is right away, bang, 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 give you a lot. Right away, bang, 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 bang. And then towards the end, you'll notice like a sharp, like, curve down. Right? Endfield is weirdly the opposite. At first you're like, fuck, man, where are my pulls? And then at the end game, you're like, oh, shit, damn, okay, I have enough. Cool. But here's some things I don't like. Weekly routine. That shit, oh, no, sorry. That is butt cheeks. Needs to be buffed. That's just objectively correct. Weekly routine is a joke of a task. It's piss easy to finish and you barely get anything for it. 100 Arsenal tickets is nothing. You can get 25 Arsenal tickets from just a credit shop and you can get that daily. So if you can get it something basically in 4 days on the credit shop without having to do anything, essentially, it should be more on the weekly routine that requires you to do something. What else don't I like? Like, what is something that annoys the hell out of me in this game? I mean, to be honest, just one of the settings being alt tabbing feels a bit awkward sometimes, but that might be my PC, so I don't want to really put that on there. Dude, there's like actually so little that I don't really like. Oh, I know. Resources. EXP ones. Like EXP, weapon, EXP, weapon upgrade or weapon tune. Promotion. You find it annoying that you can't find Avi dupes? Just get it through the AIC quota. Easy, Chris. Fixed. The weekly routine is weak. We'll probably get the rotating game mode later. We're getting the rotating game mode tomorrow. Not rotating, but we're gonna get an in-game mode tomorrow, I think, no? But yeah, this is one of the things that I found an issue with. There's just a lot, like I want to play multiple teams, but I can't realistically do them. I mean, I can. It's just I'm gonna find it very difficult to do it, right? Another thing that is connected to this is EXP materials being split or being differentiated between 1 to 60 to 61 to 90. This is dumb. I don't like this. Just keep the same XP materials. I don't know why we are differentiating them. It just makes it very awkward to farm. Because, for example, on Arknights, you can just farm the tickets, right? And every ticket works for any character of any level, right? I think this differentiation between 1 to 60 and 61 to 90 is very awkward and makes farming way more cringe. Because you're not really always sure which one to go for. So they should remove this weird awkward restriction. Just make the 61 to 90 ones give more XP. Simple as that. What else? What else don't I like? I mean, I could talk about early wooling tickets being cringe, but that one is just because it's early and most people won't be in the state of the game here. So I think it's an issue of me, not the game. What else? What else?
A
What
Originally
else
carve a
do I
path.
not like?
Contemplation, computation, utterance. I overworked myself again. Who's due for some fun?
I mean, I don't know if this is valid or not, but 4-star weapons feel like weak. Feel weak. Like, not 4-star weapons specifically. And you might say Raikon, but of course the 4-star weapons don't feel great. They are 4 stars. They aren't supposed to be awkward. And the reason I say that is a lot of the 4 stars for me, for example my Estelle one, they give the will boost, right? That's what you want. But the rest remaining,
I just want to do absolutely.
when I think of a 4-star weapon or a 4-star in Enfield, what I think of is somewhat fitting in a niche, right? Kind of like the 4-star characters, right? Estelle is there for a solidifying niche physical stuff. I'm using her as a basic cryo applicator. Probably could replace her for Snowshine, but won't do it. Fluorite, for example, again, being the same thing, being a bit of a niche cryo applicator, nature applicator, whatever you want to think of it. Isahi, same thing, being a... No, she's a 5-star, not a good thing. Or Antal, being a heat electro amplifier. Catcher being a physical protector, right, for knockups and stuff. That's what I immediately think of niches, or like 4-star niches. And I don't feel like the weapons fit the 4-star niche type of things. They aren't particularly weak. That's why I'm still using them, right? They're not like they do their job, sure, but they are not interesting, and they don't feel like a 4-star weapon. Kind of like how 4-star characters feel like. Do you get what I mean? No? So essentially what I'm saying is like they essentially are just stat sticks. There's nothing interesting about the 4-star weapons. What is my benchmark? Bavonius weapons and Genshin Impact. They are 4 stars, but they are like still super interesting. But the argument there would be like, oh, but those 4-star weapons are technically the 5-star weapons of this game, sure. But then you can still bring the same thing. For example, in Genshin, 3-star weapons, TTDS is an interesting way of gameplay, right? You have interesting stuff to do with that gameplay. Sword of the Harbinger, sorry, the crit weapon if you're above 90% HP, right? Like there's a solidification nature weapon for Flora that's 6 stars. That's technically Yvonne's weapon, no? But I get that the more niche are transferred to the 5 stars that you can still technically get, right? But I feel like that removes a lot of the breeding room for 4-star weapons to do their thing. Is it not her? You're talking about this one, right? Yes, I know there are budget weapons. You're talking about the one that you can get from the red box. Also, I pressed B instead of N. My fault. You're probably talking about this weapon here. Yes, she has a signature, but this is her free-to-play signature, quote-unquote. And you have the other one as well from the battle pass. Not wedge. You mean the other one, the one that you have the levitate weapon there as well? Dude, I fucking can't click stuff properly today. This one. Navigator. I mean, yeah, this is for Leviathan, this is for Gilbert, and this is for Yvonne. I don't know. I just feel like the 4-star weapons feel boring. Yeah, but that's a 6-star weapon, right? I'm talking about like 4-star weapons. I don't know. They feel extremely boring. I guess weak is not the right word. I shouldn't say weak. Boring.
Where should we go next?
I think that fits better. Feel boring. Yeah, I know you can buy those, right? With the lucky carrot things, but they're just boring. Not wrong thing. It's the other one. It's the bottom one. I don't think that's an excuse if even if they are just filler, right? I know I can get these, right? But I think this one is for physical even or electric. This is Aviwena's weapon. Even like that won't work for my Stella, for example. I don't think weapons need to be interesting. Like, I'm not saying that for them to be like the most like don't like to have like 5 paragraphs. It's just, you know, because it's an HSR situation. You really despise HSR codes. I mean, HSR codes. There's some very boring HSR codes. Like I remember using on my blade the tower falling destruction thing that improves your basic attacks. I just feel like they could do more with the 4-star weapons.
Originium will carve a path.
Is that not fair to say though?
Without any weak links.
Sometimes you straight up don't have free-to-play options when a new character comes out. Yeah, like, they're still usable, right? The 4-star weapons are usable. I'm not saying otherwise. I'm not denying that they are still usable, and they, for example, Stell having a will boosting thing is very nice, right? I'm not gonna deny that. But they're just kind of boring. I'm talking about having half of the character kit locked behind their signature code that is unusable for any other character. But that's not the thing that I'm trying to bring it on, right? I'm not saying like make it like it's fine to have generic weapons, but you can still somewhat guide them because that is what the weapons are still doing, right? The weapons are still guiding this. This weapon is for Estelle. She deals arts damage and she has a will scaling character that is polearm. You know, I don't think there's any other will scaling polearm user. I think Leafang is agility, right? Yeah, will strength, right?
I overworked myself again.
Like you can have stat stick weapons still be interesting,
Appreciate the break while
right?
it lasts.
Because stat sticks just need to make these two first things good. Like this third one where it's supposed to be the interesting effect of the weapon is just a generic attack stick, which for also at the same time is not really useful unless you're playing a Stell main. You're not really applying it most of the time as Stell for her damage. Like I'm not saying like, oh, if this character has this specific effect that only this character can create, gain plus 30 crit rate, 30 crit damage, fucking win the lottery kind of deal. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, imagine if this weapon, for example, instead of being an attack stick or something like that, how do you make this weapon more interesting? Like Aglo Slayer, it increases your arts damage and will. Oh, when the wielder of the battle skill hits an enemy, like when you activate a skill, instead of gaining attack, like give a small buff to the team. That is more interesting, in my opinion, because it makes it more usable for other characters as well. Fits the will narrative, because at the moment this is a selfish buff as well, which is very against will characters so far. Most characters that skill on will tend to try to help their teammates. This is closer to what I was thinking of in Genshin, by the way. When the Wilder's HP is above 80%, attack 15%. That's more interesting, I guess. Oh, this is her weapon. Enemies with cryo infliction or solidification. Although this is for Estelle main. I don't know. I just feel like the comparative to 4-star characters, 4-star weapons still lacking, right? I don't know if I'm explaining that well though. I might not be explaining it well. Okay, here's one thing that I will say that has to do with gacha. The beginner's banner. Beginner banner. You should be able to choose who you want. That's my main complaint about the gacha. Really? The beginner banner should let you pick who you want. I think that's my main complaint about the gacha. It's just the beginner banner. Like the same way that they have the 300 pulls on standard banner that lets you pick a character, that should happen as well on the beginner banner. But instead of like doing 40 pulls and then picking, you pick beforehand. That's my main issue with gacha so far. What else? What else don't I like? Let me look at the map and see if I can find down on anything that I might not like. Any second, whenever the map decides to open. Is there anything that I can point out that I don't really like? I think I have one, but this one is because I'm dumb and I don't want to search things up. Right, so in a lot of areas, the best example is the Valley Pass. No, it's the Origin Science thing. This one. No, not this one. It's the other one. It is not this one. It's this one. Poly Plateau. Jesus Christ. So here is one of my issues, but this again is because I'm an idiot and I don't want to search everything up, and I just want to know. There are areas in the maps that you cannot do until you do a very specific quest. One example is Bridge Approach Camp. There is actually a mining thing here that you can only have access after you do Wolfgar's side quest. But there is nothing that would indicate you so. So a player just exploring sees this door and has no indication that it's because of Wolfgard's quest, right? So having a, if like, even if just a hint, like, oh, maybe you should do this quest to enter this area, and there's just not a lot of it. Like, there's not really that hint. I only found out about it because I had to search. How do I get to that Furium ore? Oh, and then like I had to see comments like, oh, you have to do Wolfgard's quest. Right? There was nothing in the exploration that helped me indicate that I needed to do that. Right? You beg to differ? You think they shouldn't tell you that you should do this quest to unlock this area of the map? I don't want them to tell me everything. I'm not saying like fully indicated, but like at least give some sort of hint that this is locked because you haven't done a quest. Because I spent a solid like 2 hours trying to reach that place. Because I was trying to break the map because I couldn't find my way in. Kind of like on the Yvonne map. Now you prefer to do the quest and discover that I unlocked that area. But the thing is, you can see like in like the whole mining thing, right? It's not like you can't see the area still from outside. You can still see it. You just can't walk into it, and you kind of need those things to unlock stuff. Man, fuck you. You're so right, Shu. Even better, they could not even show anything. If they fully hid it, I think I would be less upset, right? But it's more because the Furium ore is right there, and I need that Furium ore. I mean, would the better complaint be then don't lock necessary items beside or like on the factor of like a random side quest? Well, random, quote unquote. Because they're showing me the mineral thing, but they are fully like locking us out, you know. Open world truly have enjoyed our games. I don't think it's the fully the factor of that. I think it's the fact that they're showing me that I can get something there, but there is no possible way of learning how to get into it there. Like, if show me a door with a glistening thing and then I click on the door, it says you just don't know how. Like, I'm pretty sure that's basically what it says if you try to reach if you go for the door to try to get to that place. It says you just don't know how to get to the store yet. Which could very well mean, oh, I just have to wait for an update. Because they have that on Wuling, right? They have an area that is blocked off by guards. Tells you don't have the key yet and the door is unlocked. That's the thing. When you do the quest, you don't even get a key. You just... There's no way to know that that door is just because of Wolfguard. Maybe it's a dumb complaint. Maybe I'm dumb, you know? Maybe I am open world slop filled, you know? Although, let's be clear though, this is very nitpicky. Like, this is very nitpicky issues that I have. Like, overall, this would not even be an actual issue. Right? It's just me being dumb and not wanting to search anything or understanding anything. Right? And just wanting to get to an area that I, for some reason, the game is like stopping me from going and not really telling me how to get over this obstacle that I found. Right? It could be that I am just dumb. You know? But who knows? What else? What else? Is there anything else that I want to point out that I might like? Oh my god, hi Ladia. Well, you fucked up my name. I've lost the letter N and the letter K. I'm slowly but surely moving into Geico. I'm gonna become a lizard. What else don't I like? What else don't I like? Dude, there's just so little that I don't like that I have to nitpick. I mean, if I have to nitpick issues, do I even want to mention them? Most people won't have these issues. So it's like, is it even worth mentioning them? You have an issue with the combat? What is it? What issue do you have with the combat? I think it's the fairest thing to say. It's just that if they tell you this gets open for the Wolfguard quest, it breaks emotion. I don't mean it to do it like that, right? They can still do it in like in world thing. Like when you go to open the gate, you get like a message from Fiona. Oh hey, Fiona is sending you a message. Oh, we received a call that Wolfguard has gone missing or something like that, or that Rossi is calling you. Right, because you do get that message that Rossi is calling you. You just get it like when you reach the level, right? It's just what could happen is you go to the door and then Fiona reminds you, oh, yo, Rossi's trying to call you. You should really check her out. She says it's important. That kind of stuff, you know. Just like Genshin, you whack at things until they die. The same trash mob for 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, 1, 7 time. That is an issue mostly with Valley 4, Lottie, I feel like. Lottie, Lottie, when it comes to, like, mob variety, it's definitely a Valley 4 issue. Wooling has more interesting mobs, in my opinion. Except there is one mob that I'll hate their guts completely. Where is it? Where's the fuck-ass tiger? This fucker. Die. These fucking guys. Because it literally fully counters me. It has cry resist and nature resist as well. But yeah, I do understand that the main issue is these. Like, they just look too boring. Right? The Agaloy on Wooling get more interesting, right? They become the Jello things, but yeah. Landbreaker wise, they are boring. Yeah. I think it's an issue with Valley 4 again. Land breakers with the ballista, then you need to stop. Hmm. I think that out of the characters that I like the least, it's probably the Nidworms. I don't like these things. They kind of pop out of nowhere from the ground, fucking aggro you. They're tanky as hell, and they put like this shit on the floor. I don't fucking like it. Plus, I don't have a good interrupt. I only have a Stella skill, and 90% of the times I don't have SP, so I can't Stella interrupt them. And one boss that I like the least, this one, phase 1 specifically. I don't mind phase 2. I fucking hate phase 1 though. This phase, I hate this. Because the 4 tentacles have a chance to like drop goop on the floor, but since you're on another tentacle, they fully cover the tentacle. So if you're a melee, GG, you can't attack that tentacle now. Time to move like a whole kilometer away to go to that one. Oh, but no, they refreshed the cooldowns on that goop, so they're throwing more goop at you. I hate this boss. Also, what team are you running, Ladia? I forgot. Are you going AV? Why not? I don't remember. Or are you going physical? Actually, like I saw your streams, but most of the times that I saw you playing, you were in your factory. Male nice. Oh, full physical. I mean, physical should be fine. Like, playing Last Ride has been, like, one of the experiences of all time. Like, the game really hates Last Ride at the moment, except for bosses. But even on bosses, it still feels like shit. Like, missing a final strike on the Last Ride team is actually, like, the worst feeling possible. And then she can sometimes just casually miss her combo skill, which is also funny. She just misses. Last Ride jiggles a lot. She jiggles somewhat. So she's no Ember. What else do I want to point out that I don't like? Am I playing as Last Ride? Yes, because I'm playing with Last Sacrifice. Or Sundered Prince. I'm playing Sundered Prince Last Ride. So I have to play her main. Otherwise I don't get this buff. Yeah, you do a dash cancels on her second and last auto attack. Which makes her a bit... Like, if you're trying to do those dashes on a boss that attacks a lot, like Marble or Glamoroid, GG. You are not able to do those proper. Like, is there anything else that I really want to point out that I don't like? There's no skins, but that's not really an issue that I want to have right now. Like, that could be something they easily fix with the upcoming patches. Like, I don't think I have many other issues. I mean, I could say lack of, like, social features, but that's still very much not even really an issue. You have some, right? You have the spaceship visiting in stock trading. But I don't think that's a valid criticism. They did say straight from livestream that they were not planning on making anything co-op. So that's a dumb thing to have an issue with. The dude, I don't really have any issues. Like, outside of these, weekly routine being ass, resource XP being cringe, and specifically XP materials being separated is also cringe. 4-star weapons feeling somewhat boring. Beginner banner should let me beginner banner should let you want. I mean, do I want to go record this now? Is there anything else that I'm missing? I mentioned the VA, that I like the VAs. I like the gacha because I actually have self-control and I'm not a gambling addict. I say as I just did 300 pulls on the Hoshi altar banner. But we don't talk about that. Like, a lot of the issues that Enfield ends up being is people can't read. And also, it doesn't help that on sponsors, they're putting, like, on default, the most idiotic teams possible. Like, I saw on like a sponsored streamer playing Infield for the first time, and the main teams that the sponsors were setting them up with was Yvonne, Last Ride, Gilberta. I shouldn't tell you why Last Ride and Yvonne together is not exactly the best thing you want to do. So what else am I missing? The biggest sin of them all, the arbitrary limit on the turrets I can place as well as other buildings. I don't think it's arbitrary. Also, that seems like an easy way to crash your fucking game. I don't think it's arbitrary, though. Like, would I wish that I could put like 50 towers, especially on the tower defense game mode? Yes, but, you know, it's mostly there to like make you use your brain. Now, the arbitrary limit on zip lines, now that I fucking hate. You should not have a limit on zip lines. That is my biggest complaint, actually. Yo, actually, yeah, that's my biggest complaint. Zipline limit. And I think that's it. I think that's all my things that I want to point out. I was told that the game is Gacha Factory and I'm covering them up with thirds is what I do in Factorio. True. Fucking America gameplay. Yeah. Let me go to a different spot so I can start recording this. God, my game really does not like me when I use my VTube model. Oh, wait. Another thing that I like. Holy optimization. Game runs amazingly. Well, not on my PC because my PC is ass. Plus 50 other programs at the same time. Beautiful game even at low graphics. Because, by the way, this is very low, what you're seeing right now. No, don't get up from your chair, damn you. Oh God, I'm going to crash the fuck out. Sit. Tab.
Greetings, Edmund. Is there another assignment?
The goddamn control panel, isn't it? That's fucking with this. That should be fine. So, let's try to record this. I'm gonna try to keep it somewhat cohesive. If I don't, my apologies. Okay. 3, 2, 1. What up? Welcome back to... Oh no, I fucked up my intro. How do I do my intro? What up? Good morning, good evening. Okay, there, I remembered. I forgot my intro for a second. Sorry. I only had one coffee today, and it was late. Okay? My fault. I'm sorry. Okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, whatever it might be, and welcome back to another video. This time, my Arknights review from the POV of a Hoyo shill. In case you don't know, I'm Raikon, and I've been playing gacha games since the big wave of 2020. I did technically play Clash of Clans and Clash Royale a bit before that. Well, more specifically Clash Royale. That was the my first gacha experience. But my main big start in gacha games was on Genshin. I started in 2020, and I've been playing Genshin ever since. And over the time, I've captured myself in many other gacha games, HSR, ZZZ, even Wuthering Waves, and most recently, Arknights and Sora, as you might see on my most recent videos. But this past week, I started playing Endfield. I've been playing the game for a lot of hours, so I could be able to realistically give my opinion on the game and not have to deal with like content creators with a bad agenda or content creators with a different type of agenda that are trying to sell me the game without me even trying it. So I did that. I've spent around 60-70 hours basically since the launch playing the game. If you check my first few streams there, I did 18-hour streams back to back. Not exactly the most healthy thing, but I did it just so I could give my opinion on the game and let other players be aware of what to expect. And also what I think, which probably won't matter much in the end, but it's still just a nice point of view to get. So, I'm going to go through the things that I do like about this game, and then go through the things that I do not like. Starting very simple, I really like the combat. And the fact that team synergy is very important here. I saw a lot of people complaining that the combat seems very boring, there's not much depth to it, that you just hold left click. I'll be honest, I did not have that experience. And I was playing a last right team, which is just holding left click. A lot of the issues that I saw that a lot of people that did have an issue with that the game was holding left click only was the teams that they were playing. They were not synergistic, they really didn't like each other, like they weren't exactly triggering a lot of combos, they weren't exactly making proper teams, therefore they weren't able to take the most enjoyment out of the game. Could the combat still be better? Like, could there be more interesting teams? 100%, but I don't think that's fair on the game to have that as a complaint when the game just released. Of course, they have a more restricted down set of characters compared to, for example, the original Arknights that has like 400 plus characters, and other gacha games such as Genshin or MUA that have had time to grow their roster, so they have more viability of switching between characters. So I don't think it's fair to put an issue that there's not enough characters on Arknights Endfield because the game just released. And the combat also feels very satisfying. I really like the meaty feeling, for example, of Last Right's combo skill, her ultimate, that kind of stuff. And the animations, they look beautiful. The effects look beautiful as well. Everything feels butter smooth. Your combat or your hits feel like they're actually doing something compared to, for example, the pre-alpha or the tech test animations that felt like nothing was happening. Right? So having that feel much stronger has made the combat just feel 100% better. After that, I want to mention Valley 4. So one of the things that you will see a lot when talking about Arknights Endfield is skip Valley 4. Because the story is weak, it's just too much Enderman glazing, there's nothing really being talked about that will make it interesting or make it fun. So you should just skip it. Me personally, I didn't feel the need to skip it because I am interested in the story of Arknights and Arknights Endfield by effect. And I just want to know the motivations of each character, even if the Landbreakers themselves are a bit boring and have not much going on. I still want to see, for example, what Yvonne is like, what Perlica's motivations are, what the Endman thinks about these type of stuff. Sure, I can admit that the Endman glazing can get a bit too much. I find it completely reasonable to not like that type of stuff. But maybe it's just because I've watched too much Isekai slop or been playing too much gacha games in general. I've just come to accept that glazing the main character will be something that I'll have to deal with. So I just take it as a genre thing, not exactly a big fault of the game. Would I wish it wasn't a thing? 100%. But I don't think it's as big of an issue as it is right now. But they do have an easy way to fix that. They just need to do what they did with the original Arknights. There is still a lot of glazing in the original Arknights, by the way. Amiya is Omega glazing the Doctor. But you know what they do have that Endfield doesn't? Calcif. Calcif in the original Arknights is always kicking you in the nuts. Every time you have an up and something cool and you did something cool, Calcif is just like coming out the background and be like, don't you dare feel happy. You did something very bad, and I'm gonna keep reminding you. You did this, don't forget. You are an awful person. But Endfield doesn't have that. They don't have someone that keeps us grounded. So we just keep getting our ego risen more and more and more, but we don't have anyone to keep us in line. They could technically make that into a possible plot point in the future, but at the moment, it just feels like they're just increasing our ego and there's no one to keep us in check. Where was I going? Valley 4. Yes, so with the Valley 4, that ends up being the thing that people have an issue with, is the glazing. But again, that can be easily fixed in the future with wooling. Woolings are, like most people will say, wooling is already 10 times better. Staying in somewhat the Valley 4 area, which I want to talk about, is the factory. Our first AIC factory that we have, which is seemingly the Great Filter, but I'll be honest, I'm not sure why. When the game first was releasing, they showcased that you could do blueprints. But one thing that they said about the blueprints, that I think a lot of people also thought so, is that you would have to fully finish the tutorials to get access to the shared blueprints. So I thought, oh, this is gonna even filter even more people. But actually, no, you get access to shared blueprints basically from the get-go. So you don't even need to do the tutorials for that. So I'm not sure why the factory is supposedly filtering people when they have the blueprints right there and they literally need to just spend like 5 minutes on the factory and that's it. Literally, all these players have to do that complain about the factory is look at what they need. For example, oh, I need crescent components. How do I make crescent components? Hell, if I know, here's the blueprint for crescent components. Boom. So I don't see why people are usually complaining about the factory being too complicated when they have the blueprints. They can just search online if they have any specific issues, which, trust me, there's a bunch of websites, Talos Pioneers, Enfield.dev, Tools. They have like so many resources out there, and I feel like the people complaining about the factory are just people that do not want to set up for anything and just want instant gratification, which, to be honest, I think it's a W that those people are not in the game, because if you are not willing to go through the setup of doing something to get the rewards after, I don't think you're in the right game, and that's fine. Arknights has always been a game that like setups a lot to give you the rewards after. There's not something that's like boom, instant, you get this, you feel happy right away. For example, IS, you do your first run, cool, here's 15 more difficulties that you want to set up, that you have to clear each one to get to the highest one to feel the most satisfied with. Events as well. EX stages, you don't get them right away. You have to like play through every single other stage to get to the EX stages to feel like the strongest difficulty and the most interesting parts of the combat, right? That kind of stuff. So people not like getting filtered because they don't feel like they're getting instantly gratified, I think that's a good thing. Are there things that could be a bit better? Sure. Every game has room for improvement, but I think this is one of them that doesn't really need to get changed that much. Now, going from the factory to the character stuff, which is directly linked, gearing. Gearing is basically fully connected to your factory. You need your factory to make it work and get gear. And I love that. You know how money... English. Do you know how many times I've spent like Genshin artifacts to just try to get like a 40 CV a piece? I can't even tell you. I spent so much time in Emblem, the Inazuma domain with artifact named Emblem and the other one called Shimanawas, because I was trying to level up my Shangling and like get a good setup for her. I still don't have a good Shangling, and that domain released like 4 years ago. But here on Endfield, I don't have to worry about that at all. I can just gear. Does it take some time? Is it a bit expensive at first? Yes, it is. I won't deny it. I have barely any wooling bills to like make the highest gear. But that doesn't feel bad. It just feels amazing because I know for sure that I just gotta wait a day or two and I'll get what I want. In Genshin, HSR, WoWa, ZZZ, I gotta keep rolling the roulette. I gotta keep pushing the slot machine. Please, some 40 CVPs. Which also, another big thing here, crit is not important. Only Yvonne cares about crit. So that's a whole other section there that you could not have to deal with. So you end up having such an amazing like variety of gear. You can get it easily. You don't have to really work with RNG, because the only RNG is essences, which is kind of whatever. I don't really care about essences. I barely even interacted with them. And you can just build your characters, and they are easily built. So you don't even have to worry about Gamba. Speaking of Gamba, let's talk about the main complaint that people have with Endfield. The gacha system. You can't go anywhere without talking about the Arknights Endfield gacha system. Oh, the 120 pity is not carrying over, is bad, or the rates are ass, or you can lose 50,000 times. That kind of stuff. If you've gone and searched anything Endfield related, you've probably seen 6 or 7 videos talking about this. And you want my opinion on the gacha system? I like it. I think this is the best gacha system so far in modern 3D gachas. Because you know what other gacha I like more? The original Arknights one. And I say this as someone that lost 7 50/50s on the most recent original Arknights banner. Actually, not 7, 6 50/50s. I was trying to go for Hoshi Alter on the limited banner collab, not limited banner collab, on just the limited banner, and I lost 6 50/50s. I didn't get Hoshi Alter until I got the Spark at 300. But I still gotta go to character maxed out essentially. I think the most unlucky parts that I had with the original Arknights was that I didn't get a variety of my 50/50s. Because on that banner you actually have two different types of losses at the 50/50, because there's two characters on the banner. You have Hoshi Alter and you have Haruka. And I lost my 50/50s to Haruka. But it's still technically a win, because the other loss at 50/50s is the remaining set of characters 6 stars. And I only lost that once. On 300 pulls, I got 6 stars. And I considered myself lucky there. Was I still technically unlucky because I didn't get the character that I want right away? Yeah, I was. But I still was lucky to get that many 6 stars. And this current Arknight system works on the same basis. Sure, you might lose like 50/50/50s until you get to the one that you want. But overall, you're spending less money, less currency, less time on that banner. Because it requires you to have less overall pulls. One complaint that I saw someone have, and it was a gacha content creator, and I even commented on their video, was like, oh, and this was more specifically on the weapon banner, oh, I lost 7 50/50s on the weapon banner. You know what it means to lose 7 50/50s on the current Endfield banner means? It means they were getting a 10 pull almost, they were getting a 6 star almost every 10 pull. Because the guaranteed for Endfield weapons is at 80 for the limited one. And they did 80 pulls on there, and they got 7 5 stars, or 6 stars in this case, sorry. And this content creator wants me to believe that getting 7 6-star weapons is less lucky than just having the guaranteed 50/50, but with worse rates. I'm sorry, no matter what you tell me, I will not ever agree with you with that. For example, on WUBA, the guarantee is at 80, but you have like a 1% chance to get the weapon. On Endfield, it's 4%. So you have like 4 times on that side. On Genshin, don't even get to me about that. That's like 0.8, I think, for their weapons. So I don't want to hear it. It's just objectively not real to say that the current Endfield gacha is worse than any other gacha at the moment, except maybe Arknights. The only issue that I see at the moment with the Endfield gacha, which technically could be fixed with every gacha, is the fact that it is gacha. If this game was not a gacha game, I would love it. If Genshin wasn't gacha, I would love it. HSR, ZZZ, Wuthering Waves. If all these games weren't gacha, I would love them, sure. But that's not the reality we live on. So we have to work with what we are given, and objectively, Endfield is the best one. There is nothing you could tell me that it shows otherwise, because it just is, objectively. It helps the unlucky players, it helps the free-to-play players, which is the main audience, by the way. Being unlucky and free-to-play is the main audience of gacha games. Not minimal spenders, not whales. Free-to-plays and unlucky people. Those are the main audience of gacha games. And these players are objectively favored on Endfield. But you know what it requires for those players to be? Patient. Which I know is not a lot in the sauce for the gacha players, right? A lot of gacha players see a 10 pull and they immediately do it. Endfield punishes you for doing that. And I think that's fine. If you're gonna play dumb and you're gonna play with luck, you're gonna get burned. Simple as that. For example, I at the moment, fully free to play, not fully explored, and I haven't fully done every quest, I have 160 pulls. I can guarantee myself Levitain right now. But I don't want to. I can guarantee myself Gilberta, Yvonne, any of those characters I can guarantee right now. But I'm not going to. Because there's no point. Because it brings me to my other point. You don't even need to pull for you to have fun in this game. A lot of the characters that they give you for free are fun as hell. And you can clear all the content with them. For example, my current team, which is Last Rite, Fluorite, Estella, and Zaihi, that's 2 4-stars and a 5-star there. And to be honest, Last Rite is there, but I'll be honest, she could be very well replaced with any other character. For example, I could go Catcher. I could go Alesh. And that team would work, if not like the same, just slightly below. And I can clear every content that I need to. So not only is the gacha better for unlucky players, for patient players, and for free-to-plays, the team balance in meta is also better for free-to-play players. Because potentials don't really matter, dupes specifically. The teams are not that much different from each other. The only difference at the moment really being Levitain being better at AoE. But you can still technically have a Heat team that goes with AoE with Wolfguard main. So, all of those are not even an issue. So, complaining about the gacha system in that sense feels performative. Feels tribalistic, even. Because people actually being smart and reading the game that they're playing are not going to get punished and are being rewarded. Which, I guess, it goes against the nature of gacha players to read. Where I want... Wait, give me a second. Where do I want to go with this? Okay, there you go. And even if the teams are very varied, one thing that is not like punished is boss design. The bosses feel strong still. You'll still struggle with some bosses even if you have the best team possible. Because it's not just a limited character is best character. You could very well go into a boss, for example, Marble Agglomeraoi, with a fully set it up 11th team, but if you don't do those mechanics even somewhat decently, you are dying. You will not be able to clear it. And I think that's amazing. And once again, it goes back to you not needing to pull for the limited banner. Because as long as you're smart and actually play the mechanics, you can clear still everything and still feel rewarded. But getting away from the comment now, I want to talk about the open, well, quote-unquote open world. A lot of people don't actually know, but technically Endfield is not really a open world game. It is a semi-instance, semi-linear world. Where, for example, for me to go to Wuling, I have to teleport. I can't just walk to Wuling, for example. So it is still separated through loading screens in a way, and it's technically not open world. I love the world of Endfield so far. The game looks beautiful, so that makes it better for sure. But I also like that there is a lot to do in the world of Endfield. I have to set up my relays. I have to set up my zip lines. I need to look into the depot nodes and see, okay, which way do I want to set up my zip lines to do better and faster deliveries, longer deliveries? What are resources on the map that I need for my daily occurrence? So I need to put pylons next to them and zip lines to them. See, that type of open world feeling setup is just not present in any other gacha game as far as I'm aware. A lot of the other gacha games are just like, hey, you can walk there, you can climb there, you can fly there even. But once you get there, there is no good feeling about reaching a location in any of these other games because there was no setup. There was no good feeling about it. You kind of just went there, right? There's no interesting stuff in the middle that feels reaching a point feel rewarding. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. Like, for example, on Genshin Impact right now, I have Mawika. You know what I do to get to a high place? I jump on my Mawika bike and I fly there, and I climb that in like 2 seconds. On WoWA, I know the new area doesn't have this, but like in 2.0, you had the flying system. You wanted to get up to the Carlotta place, fly there. There is not really any punishment to do that. You're just incentivized to do, but that feels boring. There's no reward because you had no challenge in doing so, right? So you have these whole issues here, like of exploration not feeling rewarding. At best, you'll have a chest, but there is no challenge. Like, the open world doesn't feel challenging, essentially. So you end up having this whole conglomerate of like chests and rewards, but none of the challenge, so it doesn't ever feel rewarding in other games. While in Endfield, there's a lot of platforming for a game that doesn't have climbing, flying, riding, doesn't have mounts, right? But you still feel rewarded exploring because with those limitations, the game is still able to make the world exploration feel interesting. That either being towards like jump puzzles, that being through hidden doors, like the fake walls in Wuling, right? There's still a lot of this in the game that makes it feel more interesting than any other open world gacha game. Okay, next thing. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up recording this afterwards in a more directed script. I think this is more for the stream. So, other things that I really like. Character designs. The characters look amazing. I don't have any character currently out in Endfield that I don't like visually. Maybe Catcher. But that's just because he looks kind of funny with his blue hair. But every other character looks amazing. Their designs have so much into them and so much thought and look so, I don't know if appropriate is the word. Like, they feel a part of this world, while some other characters intentionally feel a bit apart. For example, the Rose Island characters. They feel somewhat specifically made to be looking a bit different from the rest of them, right? And I don't know if I can explain myself how I feel about that. For example, Snowshine looks a lot different from any other character. Angelina looks very different from every other character. Right? There's not someone in the open world that you can be like, hey, I can see the outfit, like, the outfit, what's the word? References, there you go. Like, to link her to anything in Talos 2, because Reconveners, for example, are not from Talos 2, so their fashion sense connects back to Terra. Right? This type of stuff, when it comes to the designs, are very, very interesting and very nice to look at. And also, like, characters just look super cute and super well detailed, right? At the moment, what you're seeing in the background is in very low graphics. The game is looking like that in very low. Also, I like how I trash talked Catcher and is here working. But the game is in very low, by the way. Just so because I'm using my model, so my PC can't really handle this. But the game is in very low, and the characters look amazing. And also, Rossi, please. I need Rossi soon. I know she isn't a fox girl, but she should be. Please, can we have a retcon on the lore to say that she was actually adopted by the pack and that she's not actually a wolf? Thank you, Hypergrave, for watching this video. So get on working with that. But yeah, characters look amazing. The game itself looks amazing. The world looks amazing. And another thing that a lot of people are not really mentioning, this game is only 45 gigabytes. Do you know how insane that is nowadays? A game this beautiful, this well optimized, and being 45 gigabytes? It's insane. It's unheard of. I can give you easy examples for other gacha games. Genshin Impact, 145 gigabytes. Wuthering Wave, 135 gigabytes. Arknights Endfield looks as well, if not better, than those games, and has a fourth of the space occupied. If that does not speak to how well done this game is and how well thought of is, I don't know what else would. Another thing that I want to mention that I feel a little sad a lot of people are missing out on is the English voice acting. Do I have some issues with some voice acting? Mostly NPCs? Sure. I'm not expecting, although an Oscar performance from a random NPC, right? Like, that was probably voiced by someone on the studio that they just had right next to them. But the characters themselves? They sound amazing. They are continuing the tradition from the original Arknights, where they have the ability to set up people with the actual intended accents for the character. Pogranichnik has a Russian accent. Wolfguard has an Italian accent. A.V. Wena has an Australian accent. And it just continues on and on. Chen, Chinese. Li Fang, Chinese as well. You have these characters actually matching their voice to their character's region. And that gives such a boost to immersion that you can't get anywhere else. I can actually give you an amazing example where this immersion actually felt amazing. When you get started with Wu Ling and some stuff happened, you meet Tong Tong. But when you first meet her and she thinks she's by herself, she's not talking in English so that we understand what she's talking. She's actually singing in Chinese. Because she's just vibing, so she doesn't need to be talking in English for us to understand. She's just talking in Chinese. And that's such an immersion W that literally made me like Tong Tong immediately. And that's why I'll probably pull for her if she ends up being cool animation wise. While if you're playing on JP or CN or even in Korean, you don't have access to this. JP characters, or when you're playing in JP, every character speaks in JP. They don't have accents. They don't have regional changes. They're just always JP. Same thing applies to CN and Korean. It just makes it boring, right? And I see a lot of people immediately changing their voices to JP, which makes me feel sad because they're missing a very strong point of immersion that other games simply do not offer. Another thing that I want to talk about is the UI. The UI is very solid. Are there a lot of menus and icons to click on? Sure. And this is from the perspective of a PC player. Controller players can't tell me otherwise in the chat how you feel about the UI. But I think the UI looks amazing. I'm happy that we finally don't have a gacha game that has the little side panel with all the icons. No, this one actually has a dedicated menu that looks different from everyone else. Like, I'm so tired of the side menu that has your little icon on the top right, the XP bar, and like all the other stuff that you have to then scroll down for. No, I like the fact that this one actually has a dedicated menu with its own aesthetics and graphic designs that looks different from other ones and feels fresh as well. But like most games have issues. And don't let my early glazing give you an impression that I don't have issues with the game. I do. But the issues that I have with the game are none of the issues that you'll see other people complain about. And I think it's mostly because of the fact that I actually was willing to give the game more than 4 hours. For their sponsorships, for their shitty YouTube videos, and for drama farming. I played the game, like I said, for around 70 hours already. I am account level 52. I have completed all of the main story, most of the side quests. The only things that I'm missing is the Levitain side quest and some open world wooling blue quests. Sorry, where was I going with that? So that's why the things that I don't like is different from what other players might not. Because like I said, the main complaints you will see about players that are quote unquote actually trying or actually reviewing is gacha. They'll complain about the gacha. We went through it. It's objectively, anything that they say objectively about the gacha is just a bit of a joke and you shouldn't be taking them serious. Value 4, that's valid. I'll let them keep the Value 4 one, even if I don't fully agree with it. I can see why people may not like it. That's fine. And the other complaint as well was the PayPal issue. I myself wasn't affected by it because I'm a free-to-play player. Neither do I expect compensation. But I saw a lot of people attacking Endfield for that, and while I agree it is a massive fuck up that they did, they solved it as fast as they could, and that is not just fully an Endfield issue, right? Sure, Hypergraph has a lot to blame there, like how is that even possible? But can we talk about PayPal? Why is there such a fault in the system where it even allows that to happen on PayPal? Because you would think PayPal has safety systems that would prevent that from happening, right? Because what happened was that players were spending money on PayPals that were not theirs through the Endfield purchasing system. So you're gonna tell me that PayPal doesn't have like a security check to see that if this purchase is actually being made by the person? I don't know, but I feel like some fault still lies on PayPal when it comes to that. But to get to the things that I actually don't like about the game, and I hope they do change, but it's things that, to be honest, even if they don't change it, I'll still play the game, are these. Main issue, and is the issue that I said from day one. Weekly routine is a joke of a system. In case you don't know what weekly routine is, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of weekly quests that you can do to get resources and currency for gacha, both for the weapon and normal gacha. And the rewards it gives are a joke. It gives you 100 arsenal tickets, which is not even one pull. Which I will openly always say that it's a joke and they should be buffed. I don't think you will ever see anyone defending weekly routine, right? Because everyone can look at weekly routine and tell you that it's a joke. Who hasn't lost all their trust with PayPal, right? Really? This is what makes you like all this? But you know, still. My main issue with the game is straight up weekly routine. Have you heard anyone else talk about weekly routine at all? No. The only thing they'll point out is, oh, it'll amount only 100 arsenal tickets. If they even mention at all. Because a lot of the people that are not liking the game are either making stuff up. A certain person that is possibly racist as well, but I'll not get into it. Just make stuff about the gacha, make stuff about the company, which I'm surprised that like they're even trying to push that. I wouldn't be surprised if they would be sued for defamation. I'll get into that outside of this review thing. And just nonsensical stuff that these people have issues with. But they don't actually have issues that normal actual players of the game have. Here's another one that I don't like. I don't like that current XP resources are very limited. For example, it takes a lot of stamina to even get a character to level 60, which me personally, I don't really like that. I like being able to experiment with my teams a bit more. So even if just to get them to level 60 so they can at least use purple gear would be a better choice than to just hard limited. But I think the issue that comes to that is not just that the quantity of the resources is limited, but the way that they're split. At the moment in Endfield, EXP resources are split between two stages. Level 1 to 60 and level 61 to 90. This little split is what I feel like is making this whole experience worse. Because any XP that you gain for this last stage cannot be used for the early stages, and the early stage tickets cannot be used for the late stage XP. So you end up having to also pick between which one you want to get when you go into a EXP farm domain, for example. So you have to fully dedicate 80 stamina for 61 to 90 tickets, or to 1 to 60. And I think that is horrendous, and that it should be changed. That limitation doesn't exist on the original Arknights, doesn't exist in other gacha games. It just feels like another obstacle that is just there for no seeming good reason. Just make the XP tickets that are more expensive or higher level harder to get, while still being able to be used for lower levels. I think that's the only thing that they should do, and any other option that maintains that limit is not doable. They should remove that limit between 1 to 60 and 61 to 90. If they do that, my whole issues with the EXP and resources immediately go away. And the more we get into the things that I don't like, you'll notice that they are even nicher and even like very, very, very personal experiences that I had. For example, one that I had, and I talked with Chad early, is I think 4-star weapons feel boring when compared to 4-star characters. Here's what I mean. So at the moment, 4-star characters are there to feel as a niche for your main team. For example, on my team at the moment, Fluorite and Estella are there to help with cryo infliction. But her weapons, except like the 4-star weapons that would eventually accompany them, don't really do much. They are stat sticks, which that's fine, but their active passive are very boring attack increases to themselves. For example, I showed the Estella weapon early on, the Agalo Slayer, where the requirement to activate the passive is the moment your battle skill hits an enemy, you gain 24% attack to yourself. That's boring, I feel like. There is nothing interesting about that weapon, and also very unlikely to be used in any team, really. It's just, I'm just currently using it because there is nothing really else that I want to spend my low amount of resources on. Might as well spend it on this 4-star that just there for the sake of being there. Because let's be honest, I don't really care about Estelle's attack. She's not there to do damage. She's there to apply cryo. So you end up having this issue of like 4-star characters feel great because they actually fill in niches in teams that are currently not given, right? Because sure, eventually we'll get a 5-star or 6-star that applies more cryo, that kind of stuff. But 4-star weapons don't really have that slot to fill in. They don't have that filler niche that current 4-star characters have. And again, this is very me thing. Other people, like in my chat, have disagreed with that take. I just think that having them be more interesting would be a nice addition to the game, instead of just being generic stat sticks that don't even improve on your team itself. Going back to the gacha, by the way. Here is my only complaint about the gacha that you will see me ever talk about. And no, it's not the percentages. No, it's not the pity. No, it is not the sparkle. Hell, it's not even the AIC quota things. It is specifically the beginner banner. The beginner banner currently feels horrendous. And why is that, you might ask? Because you don't get to pick the character that you want. At the moment, when playing Endfield, it is best you don't spend your wishes right away on your banner before you guarantee yourself your first standard on the other banner and get the free Ardelia. Why? Because you don't get to pick on the beginner banner. And you should. You should pick on the beginner banner. But you're not able to. Sure, you can pick the weapon. But you know what weapon you're gonna pick? The one that fits the character that you just randomly got. Which shouldn't be something that even happens. If you're allowing me to choose my weapon, you should allow me to choose which 6-star I get from the beginner banner. Kinda like how the standard does that for 300 pulls. It is not a bad thing to allow the players to get a chance to pick their first character. Because you know what happens to a lot of these players that don't get to pick? They're gonna get Ardelia. A character that they're already gonna get for free. Or they're gonna get a dupe for a character that they already have. So having the option of choosing does not remove anything, it only adds something. And that is legit the only complaint I have about the gacha system. It is just the beginner banner. Well, like, to fully wrap up, Endfield is quite possibly the best launch experience of a gacha game that I've had. Maybe competing there with Genshin 1.0 because it was novelty, right? But like, out of the modern games, gacha specifically, 1.0 of Endfield has probably been the best. I've had no issues with optimization, no issues with crashing, no very like criminal bugs. The content is, there's a lot to do. The only reason I don't have a lot to do right now is because I spent 70 hours in a row essentially playing the game to the max because I am unemployed and I have no life. But most players, you won't notice the lack of content at all because you always have something to do. I technically still have something to do, just nothing that is like too important. But that's because I spent 70 hours. Most normal players that play maybe 1 hour every other day will have so much content to do that 1.1 will probably reach, and they still haven't done everything in 1.0. Which in a lot of other games right now, you wouldn't really have that. Especially at launch. But overall, like, just having a game that is so well cooked and it was given the time, like, could there still be improvements? Could there have been, like Domi says in my chat, could there have been a CBT3? Sure. Every game can get improved. Every game can be better. But this game cannot be called undercooked by any means necessary. Like, by any means. This game is in the best state I've seen a live service game release in the past like 4 years. Because we've gotten accustomed to every game being, first of all, Unreal Engine, right? Running like ass 90% of the time, requiring 50 driver updates, requiring you to compile shaders every update and every login essentially, having weird optimization issues, being extremely dumb in size of like file size, and then you getting like 30 emails saying, oh sorry, we found this criminally broken bug that will literally prevent you from opening up your computer again. we fixed it. Like, that's literally a Battlefield 6. Like, I can give you like the best example. Battlefield 6 literally destroyed my motherboard, and it made me have to spend $70 to get a new one. Like, so you have like these issues of modern games that Endfield just does not have. And I don't think anyone can complain about that. Like, the game is beautiful. The game runs amazingly. There's so much content. It feels varied enough. And I think anyone complaining currently about Endfield is either misinformed or negligent. But yeah, that's just how I want to, what I want to say about Endfield at the moment. I'll make a more dedicated review with a proper script, so I don't just babble on for like an hour. People open my door and now no noise. Like, I'll make a more dedicated video so I can have like my thoughts a bit more arranged and like more set it up so I can properly edit it and stuff. But like, I just really want to talk about these stuff because there's just too many content creators. I really don't want to have to say their names, but there's too many content creators out there that are actively disparaging the game and causing the game to feel so toxic and so unnecessarily unfun to interact with online. Like, as much as I try to make my timeline fan arts of just Endmin, Chen, Yvonne, I'm still gonna, dude, I'm just gonna say fuck it, like, just say the names. Like, I'm gonna get a fucking clickbait title from Saint Tontas saying that Endfield is botting their reviews. I'm gonna get a clip from VXV Fiction calling other content creators reviewing Endfield sponsored fucking nerds and like calling them, like, straight up name calling them. Like, you know how fun it is to interact with an online space that has these bad faith actors just constantly taunting you and poking the bear? Let me tell you, super fucking unfun. Luckily, I have still my Discord community, right, to interact with Enfield's content and enjoy the game, and I have you on chat as well. But going on Twitter, first, Lamau, why are you even going on Twitter? Is not to be taken lightly, because there's still a lot of community making on Twitter. Oh, so how delayed am I? I actually can't tell. I might be a lot delayed. Again. And like, the thing is, you can objectively point out to these people that they are bad faith actors. You can also, I think my game crashed because of my model. You can actively refresh, by the way, Domi, refresh. Like pause and unpause, and that should fix it. Like, you can actively tell objectively that these people are either lying or spreading misinformation or just straight up awful people. You can objectively do that, but people will still listen to them. And you can't do anything about it, so it feels awful. Like, you have people like Saint Tontas objectively lying about the game. I wouldn't be surprised if Hypergriff tends to will probably do something, because he's accusing them of botting reviews, which is a very serious thing to do, by the way. Like, he is accusing a Hypergriff of botting their Play Store reviews and their comments, by the way. Let me tell you. That is not something you want to do lively. Because, you know, he's just straight up defaming them. He has no proof of them botting views or botting reviews, but he's still saying that. Like, And the thing is, it's always the same people. It's always the same people. But they still get attention. Like, these people have been called out so many times, but there are still people that fall into their traps. Like, you could go to someone that is a Saint Tontas viewer, or even a Tobero viewer. Gotcha Smack not so much for Enfield, but he's part of the circle. And tell them what you just heard from your favorite content creator is not true. And they'll be like, nuh-uh. And you show them proof of what they got shown is false. And they're like, nuh-uh, my content creator said so. You know their response? They'll probably call you a slur. Also, hi, Perlica. You achieved false Super Saiyan God. Amazing. Good job, Revolver. Like, I'm not saying that communities have to have toxic positivity or just always be positive. No, by no means. God, no. I'm good with that. I don't need all of that type of deal. But what I do want is honest criticism. Not some made up stuff in your head. Not some false creature that you created and said that it's in the closet that's going to eat you when you leave. I want honest feedback. Kind of like the issues I had. Like the weekly routine. Zipline limits being cringe. Not some slanderous work that brings, first of all, no happiness to anyone, reaches no objective anything. Like, I could tell you right now, if you gave like everything that these players that were quote unquote I'm just speaking common sense, you could literally give everything that they wanted and it will still find an issue with it. For example, let's imagine that Hypogryph makes the 120 spark go over banners. You know what they're gonna say? Oh, they just did that because people complained. That's exactly what they would do. Oh, they just did that because they complained. And they'll move the goalposts. You want to know what the next goalpost ends up being? Oh, factory should be removed. No. It starts with tutorials. Oh, the tutorials for the factory should be removed. And then, oh, we should remove factory. You are never winning against these players because they're not playing the same game as you. They will always move the goalposts. They will always find something else to cry about. And when they can't, they make it up. By the way, patch on the 30th, we'll see what's happening. Yeah, it's in a few hours. It's in a few hours. Like, call me a hypergrifter, Hoyo Shill, fucking Akuro bot. I like gacha games because I find them fun and I play them if I can. If you see that I dropped the gacha game, it's probably because I don't have enough PC space for it. For example, like, me calling out Saint Tontas would get probably a lot of, like, Wuwa fans mad at me. And call me a tourist, probably. Like, I played Wuwa every single day from 1.0 until 2.3. You want to know why I stopped playing Wuwa? Because I had no space in my computer and could no longer run the game at 60 FPS. Because, like, just in case you don't know, I love Phoebe. I love Zani. Those are my main teams. I love Jinsei. I love those characters. They look pretty. They look amazing. Their attacks look great. But you want to know the issue? I can't fucking play the game. The game runs like shit. And occupies like 2/3 of my goddamn SSD. But if I were to say that on like Twitter, after calling out someone like Saintontes, they would still call me a tourist. Because they would not realistically look at the issues that the game have. And instead just go like, oh, nuh-uh, you're just a tourist. You just hate WoA because you're a Hoyo shill or you're a hypergrifter. They will always find something to call you. They will always find an issue with your criticism. They will always find something to like, what's the word? Not demotivated, like attack your argument without attacking the argument itself, but attacking you as a person. Devaluing your argument by attacking you as a person. Like, I can promise you, if I go to Twitter right now and I refresh, I'll find probably the issue that I'm talking about. So acting like a child, yes. Unironically, yes. A lot of these content creators that farm drama are like children. They have no object permanence. They have no consistency. They have no real objective other than farm drama. But then the issue is, when you create such a zealous hatred like community towards the game, you know what that game is gonna get? A zealous community that will defend it no matter what. And both of those are bad. You don't want a overzealous community that always attacks something. Because why are you attacking it? You probably don't even play the game. But then you have the overzealous protective community that ignores any feedback towards the game. You want to have an example? I'll give you an example. Genshin Impact and the defense of not having a skip button. There will be people that will go tooth and nail to defend the fact that Genshin Impact has no skip button. And you know why they do that? Because they see people from outside trying to give story takes that I've never interacted with. So they'll think that it's just because people don't read. And because they don't read, they have to be forced to read stuff by not having a skip button. And then you have people in the middle like me. I read lore. I like reading Genshin lore. But bro, I don't give a fuck about NPC 27 and their issues. They will not connect to any of the characters that I want. They will not affect the main world. Like, for example, the most recent Genshin Impact event on Dragon Spine. No, I don't give a fuck about this random NPC not being able to run. I'm sorry, I don't care about it. I should be able to skip that. Because having the player's option is better than not having any. And another thing that goes into it is like, HSR has a skip button. ZZZ has a skip button. Honkai Impact 3rd has a skip button. God, I would be surprised if Gun Girls Online has a skip button. So, because of this overzealous community on Genshin, we're not getting a skip button. Because there's a bad faith community also attacking them at the same time. So they feel the need to go to the extremes, and then people that are like, bro, I just want to be able to play the game how I want, in the middle, get fucked. Arknights has a skip button. Hell, fucking the main story of Arknights is fully optional, let's be honest here. I'm still in chapter, no, I finished chapter 8 now. I'm in chapter 9, technically, when it comes to the lore. I could have skipped all of that. Hell, I couldn't just keep ignoring the main story. But I don't, because I'm actually interested in the lore. But if you show me some random, like for example, if you showed me a whole ass cutscene of just two reunion members just talking to each other for like 5 minutes, I'm gonna skip that. For example, the events as well. The events in Arknights, I skipped them all because I want to eventually read them at my own pace. And I have that option because there's a skip button that Genshin, for example, doesn't have. You know? But it goes back into those things that I was saying. Like, it's because of that overzealous community on hating, that is fully focused on attacking Genshin Impact, that creates a overzealous protective community that defends everything that Genshin Impact has. So I'm scared that Endfield will end up having that at the same time, because there's this one community spearshotted by a set of few content creators, Saint Otis, VXF, fucking Captain whatever girl, Vtuber something, she's a fucking idiot as well. Like, you just have this cringe ass community that is playing the game fully on bad faith, has no realistic issues, and only can make up issues on their own mind. And the thing is, you know what they do? One of the main ones, which is usually Saint Tontas, will make a video about a made up issue, essentially. Like, for example, their most recent video saying that Enfield botted reviews. And then his orbiters will react to that video, spread the misinformation, which then just continues, right? You have a main guy that spreads up lies, like a set of you that react to those lies, keep and intentionally or unintentionally spread those lies to others, and you just have the cycle, right? One makes up a lie, others react to it, and then information, the bad information goes through. And then people that are from this game, they're like, yo, what the fuck? Why are you attacking us with lies? Like, why are you even doing all that? We'll be like, fuck you. This game is perfect. You're literally lying about everything. Because the issues that they should be complaining about are not being addressed, so people don't talk about them. So then you have this overzealous community that will attack anyone that has any issues with the game. And then you have people in the middle, like me. I love this game. I will keep playing it until, for some godforsaken reason, my PC explodes or I die. And have fun with it. That doesn't mean I won't see the issues that the game does have. Let me see if I can find like an example on like Twitter. I mean, to be honest, my Twitter, has already been cooked because of Tectones being confirmed a sexual assaulter. So that was fun. That was also fun seeing the Tectone orbiters trying to somewhat distance themselves, but at the same time they didn't. That was a fun, interesting like hour or two to look at. Where is it? I actually think I bookmarked one. Like one tweet that I saw. Like, for example, this person. Like, someone showed the amount of currency that you can get for free in 1.0. 1.0 has almost enough currency to guarantee 2 6-stars. Through Spark, by the way. It has 89k for people with the Origiometry pass, and fully free to play, fully clearing everything. And this person's first thing was, you know what? You're lying. This is CBT info. What the fuck do you mean it's CBT info? It literally says 1.0. Like, and this person is only spreading that information. You wanna know why? Because they saw a content creator tell them that. Because the content creator straight up lied to them and said, no, you don't actually have enough pulls to do that. When these people are literally being shown proof of them being lied to, and they don't believe it. They're like, no, you lied. No, you're the one lying. Me? Falling for a lie? Never. That could never happen. I could never fall for a lie. I'm too smart. We are too smart. We hear what the smart guy says. That content creator, he's like super smart. We believe all that he says. We refuse to believe any truth outside of that one. You know how annoying that is for a community? Like, I don't know. Luckily, like, you know, also, for the OG Arknights players, you know how fucked up when the most normal content creator at the moment for Endfield is? Fucking Supa. The guy that literally was, like, considered, like, one of the... You find him on the street, you kind of fucking shoot him. Like, for a lot of the community side. Not for me. I had really never found the issues that people had with Supa. Like, people were acting like this is, like, fucking Osama bin Laden of, like, Arknights. But now he's, like, straight up, like, the most reasonable person in the world. Like, you have people saying, like, God, what is this timeline where I'm having to agree with Supa? And, like, Rory Pupper as well. Like, Rory Pupper, amazing person. I have loved their videos, and like, I follow them on Twitter as well. Like, you'll see that I've liked a lot of their stuff as well. But, like, it is literally this. Like, you have this current duality. Also, I shouldn't be fully showing this as I'm scrolling. Like, you just have this strong duality of content, like, creators, that just causes such a rift in the community. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm having a lot of Endfield art that I cannot show on stream while I'm just trying to scroll down here to find what I was looking for. No. And a lot of girls kissing, so give me a second. And also this type of art. I don't know if anyone else saw this one, but I don't even know what to say about this one. We don't need to know what you're goon to. I didn't, like, that's a whole other level for me, bro. That one shows up unprompted on my timeline. I mean, I think, could I show you my likes at the moment? Like, to show you that I am not a gooner like most people think? Like, is there anything here NSFW that I can't really show? Not really. Yeah, I can show, like, most of my likes. Like, you can see what I've been liking. I'm not that much of a gooner. A lot of girls kissing, though. Not as one that I've done a lot. Like, my art is mostly, like, cute, wholesome stuff. And girls kissing. Especially Sanbina. That's a lot that I've been doing. But, like, you saw big tits? That's just Yvonne. That's a character from Enfield. But, like, that's the worst you'll see from me. Wait, I haven't checked after this. And like self-deprecating tweets. That's literally the most you'll see from me. And Bridget. A lot of Bridget. I don't think I have a single NSFW thing I've liked recently. And cosplayers. Like, outside of that, my like stuff has been chill. Yeah. And even outside of like going about Twitter, like the issues that Twitter discussion has, YouTube is not much better. Searching Endfield, oh, like any, I don't know which one of you recommended me the extension, but I really need to get the BlockTube one. Like, just block some of these people from ever showing up on my timeline on YouTube, because I search Endfield. First of all, sticks right away. This fucking creature, right? This is the first thing that I wish I could just fucking nuke from my like my possibilities. Her as well. And like you'll see a lot of this. It will just be this farm drama, a bit of Hololive. Of course. M-Tash talking about how he fucking lost 7 50-50s. Which, by the way, he got the best guns currently out. But, okay, we don't talk about that. This is just live streams. This is just random YouTube recommendations. Boom. Why I quit Endfield 2 days ago. Bro played for 4 days. GG's. St. Otis, again. More drama farm. Pixel 3 apparently just posted one saying that the game is bad as a gacha apparently. I don't know. I'm not gonna watch that type of videos at the moment. Like more Saint Tontas. I'm surprised I'm not getting more VXVF at the moment. Because that was one of the fact that this person even got sponsored to play this fucking game is crazy. Hypergrifters ruined Endfield. Dude, okay, let's see how many, like legit, I'm just gonna click on this to see how many videos he's just done on just talking shit on Endfield. Kuro Games 1. Hypergriff is desperate. False advertising. Wake up, Endfield. CN is not happy. Mr. Brokey. The reality of Enfield's gacha. What did I do? Endfield nerfed free-to-play. Most generous patch in WoBA history. Which is funny. He talks to everyone like everyone is a Hypergrifter Hoya Shield, but here he is defending a spending event. Hypergrifters ruined Endfield. The worst gacha in free-to-play history. Endfield. I confronted the #1 Endfielder about free-to-play polls. Endfield's apology is a disaster. Endfield devs lied. Endfield is getting sued. The worst launch in gacha history. They lied about Endfield's gacha. Hypergriff fucked up. Poke is officially the next Atsu. Bro, it has been 1 week. He was posting this before the game even came out. Like, why is this person having any fucking attention? Why does he have 2.1k viewers? Holy fuck, man. God, literally take all the world's pain and give it to this person, man. And not to mention, like, they also made some very racist remarks before as well. Like, they were literally complaining about the VAs not speaking English in global. Like, do you know how fucking much of a loser do you have to be to complain about immersion Not like being a thing, on Immersion. Like the fact that VAs are being hired based off their nationality to give a character more flavor and more interesting accents and voices. He was literally complaining that the EN VAs in like the EN voice were speaking Italian. You know how much of a fucking loser you have to be to complain about that? Like, I don't even know how fucking idiotic of a person you have to be to like, damn, this Italian character is speaking Italian? God, I wish they had an American accent and they only spoke in English. Sorry. I just, you know, notifications. Like, dude, I don't know. Like, that person has 2.1k viewers. Arknights Endfield seems to hate free-to-play players. I'm free-to-play. I'm free-to-play. I have hundreds of pulls. And I haven't even fully cleared the game, and we don't have an end game yet. The issue is? You wanna know what the issue is? No one is calling them out. There isn't. You wanna know the only person I've seen call out this behavior? That is a big content creator? Is Mr. Pokem. And you wanna know why he called it out? Because he got targeted by it. And the thing is, most of the times when it comes to these type of people, usually what you should do is ignore them. But the issue is, if you've done the whole ignore thing and they still keep growing, they keep still spreading lies and hatred towards many communities. This is not just Infield. They have done this for many other gacha games as well. You have to address it, because clearly ignoring the issue hasn't been sufficient. My guess is people want to do pulls without grinding. Yes. They say that the game does not have enough pulls to guarantee the current 5-star or 6-star character, which is demonstrably false. I can show you right now. If my game doesn't crash from having to be alt tabs this whole time. Come on, computer, you got this. I know I'm running my model, man, but still, come on, you got this. Also, yes, Nepfer. He complained about that. I mean, it's not even surprising, to be honest, coming from Saint Tontas. He has made racist remarks before, so it's not shocking. Come on, game. I'll restart my game after this. I've spent too much time alt-tabbed. So my PC is not liking having to reload everything back up. I'll just force close the game. I think it's better. Oh, maybe you can still see the amount of currency. There you go. You can see the currency that I have at the moment. I have 52k ore barrel and 114 ore geometry. And I am fully free to play. Have not spent a single dime in this game. And I have not fully cleared the game. And there is no end game to speak of. And you want to know what else? I still have the charted headhunting pulls. So add 14 more pulls over that. I have around 150 pulls right now. And I can get more if I go clear edge space salvage, which I'm not. I don't find the game mode fun. I'll eventually do it when I get to it. And this is just free to play. Sure, does it take time? Sure. Sure. It takes time. But you can't openly say that the game does not let you have enough pulls, because it's just objectively wrong. If you want to have pulls to pull on the game, play the fucking game. That's the point of it? Yeah! But a lot of these content creators, for some reason, expect you to have full pity. 100, like for other games, it's 180, by the way, or 160 for WoWa. Like 160 pulls in one day. There is no game currently out that will let you do that. I'm sorry, there is no game that will let you do that. You cannot get 160 pulls like that in one day in any game free to play. I'm sorry, you can't. But you do know what Endfield has? A lower pity needed. You need 40 less pulls than WoWa, HSR. You need 60 less pulls than Genshin. On the weapon banner, you only technically need 40. Then you compete on a 25-75. But still, at the worst, it is equal to WoWa on the weapon banners. These people are complaining that they don't have enough currency because they're not fucking playing the game. God, I hate when my game locks its features behind playing the game. It goes back to the thing that reminded me of, like, I saw someone complain about Genshin, saying, yo, this character skin is locked behind story. They were complaining about a free-to-play skin that Genshin very rarely does, skins in general, much less free. They were complaining that it was locked behind the story. That they would do anyways. And that ends up being the exact same thing on Endfield. Are you playing the game? If yes, then yes, you'll have enough pulls to pull on the banner for Levitain. Are you not playing the game? Yeah, sorry. Duh, you're not gonna get enough pulls. And you can say, oh, Raikon, but it's too, you can't get that in enough time. You no-lifed it, and only now you guaranteed. This banner is here for 2 weeks. If not mistaken, right? There's a whole other weekend for this game. And you can very much still get it. Enough currency. Even if you're just spending 1 hour at a time playing the game, you can still have enough. 1 second. No, it's like, imagine playing Expedition 33, seeing that the Verso exists, and being like, dude, I have to go through Act 1 of Expedition 33 to play Verso. Are you okay? Like, did you hit your head? You know another complaint that I saw? Oh, I need to grind to level up my characters. That was a complaint they had! I might be wrong on the content creator. I'm not sure if it was Gacha Smack or Mtash that said this. But they literally said, no, I don't want to go pick up flowers to level up my characters. What do you do? What do you do with these people? Like, I honestly can't tell what they want. Do you want a fucking game? Or do you just want gambling? Bro, go to Las Vegas. Go to your local casino, man. They locked my, like, they're legit like, dude, I just want gamble. They locked my gambling behind a game. It's literally what these people are playing like, man. I'm not in, I literally just opened the banner. You motherfucking game. Like, there are these issues that these players have are not real. They're not real issues. I mean, picking up flowers is mad boring, but come on. You want to know the fun thing about Endfield, though? You can set up zip lines between these plants, right? So that you can go on the zip lines to get there faster. So you can set up zipline networks, which involves your factory, one of the key components of Endfield, to make your experience even better and reward you for setting these up. You want to know why these players are having a bad time picking up flowers? Because they set up nothing. They have no zip lines, no relay towers, no electric pylons. They have the bare minimum. And then they complain that they can't do stuff fast. Well, yeah, you spent 0 time caring to set it up. You know what I like? People are like, oh, the deliveries are so ass. You can't jump. You can't do this. Well, yeah. You don't have the zip line set up. Use your zip lines. You have like 30 of them. Fucking do them. Do the zip lines, man. It's literally like one of the key features of this game. Just put zip lines down. Set them up. Play the game. It's like imagine this. Dude, I need to go to a sea temple on Minecraft. But God, I don't want to swim all the way there. Well, you don't have to. Get a fucking boat.
Arknights.
Get Ice Walker shoes. Like, these people literally have the solution right in front of their eyes and actively refuse to use the solution and then complain that the game doesn't work as well for them, man. I know I sound like I'm crashing out a bit, and I am. It's just that... Wow. Also, we have the patch notes for the next update, which is in 9, 10, 11, in 4 hours. Is this patch going for maintenance? Oh, you can't even see it. Classic. Optimizations. Optimize the completion reward process claiming for simulation. If you have already mastered the AIC planned content within a simulation, you can now complete it. Then button to finish the session and claim both first clear and bonus rewards instantly. In the future, engraved medals will be awarded based on the total number of fully experienced and completed simulation. All current and post-update completion records will be counted. Please stay tuned for official things. Okay. Reduce the HP of certain enemies between level 10 and 50. Fine. Reduce the damage resistance of certain enemies in Wuling region. I hope it's the tiger. And that's about it. Reduce the attack of the boss Marble Agglomerate in its awake status. This is the wrong issue with this boss. If you're having issues with the second phase, skill issue. The first phase is the worst part. Optimize the prompt information on the administrator name. Okay, whatever. Improve sound effects and voiceovers. Whatever. Animation performance. Whatever. Certain interaction effects. That's whatever. That's whatever. Battle pass stuff. That's whatever. No, don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Don't care. This is an actual thing. I didn't know that. This is whatever. This is whatever. That's whatever. we're getting 200 oro barrel plus 1 emergency sanity booster and another extra 500. So 1 pull and a half essentially. A lot of sanity stuff as well. Yeah, time to add more power lines for the zip lines. You like legit. My main complaint is there's not enough zip lines limits. I need more zip lines. Like, I have the zip lines, I just don't have enough limits to them. And I think that's the main issue that I have. Legit. On exploration, the only issue is that I don't have enough zipline limit.
Yo, I bump into you all the time. How's work today?
It was fine, Alesh. Thank you for asking. Oh, you have a gift for me, Catcher? Here.
It's just some minor gifts, Emmy.
Like, again, a lot of the issues the players have with Enfield are
How are you holding up, Administrator?
are literally caused by their own failure. The gacha system, them saying, oh, I did 90 pulls on Levitain, and I still need 30 more, and if I don't pull, I'm gonna get punished. Yeah, you decided to pull when you didn't have enough. It's your fault. You know the rules of the game. You chose to play the game knowing those rules, and you still fucked it up. Again, would I prefer if there was no pit, like if the pity was carried over? 100%. But these players, or more specifically these content creators, are fully aware of the games or of the rules that they're playing, and they're still complaining when they've read the full rules and still get fucked by them. It's like reading a contract. Like reading the first lines, like saying, oh, you will get slapped if you say this word at the end after you sign this contract. And then they sign the contract and they say the word they're not supposed to do and get slapped and be like, what the hell, why'd you just slap me? And the game tells you, well, we told you when you signed the contract you can't say that word. But I want to say that word. Well, then why the fuck did you sign it?
Recent equipment faults have resulted in several cases.
You willingly placed yourself in a position to get slapped. Why are you like why? Why? Why are you complaining that you got slapped? You knew the rules of the game. Like, let's be for real. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't complain about that. And you want to know the other part is, like, if you tell these players that they are the ones that have, like, gambling issues, right, and are too addicted to gambling, they'll literally be like, oh, why are you defending this company? I'm not defending the company. I'm calling you a fucking idiot because you're acting like a fucking idiot. I'm on the side of, like, yeah, they shouldn't be, like, the pity should go through. But if you are aware that the pity doesn't go through and you still act in a way that will fuck you up, you deserve it. Control yourself. Like, would I wish that you could get every character in a gacha as a free-to-play player? 100%. But also, I know where I'm, like, playing. I know I'm playing a gacha game made to make money. I know as a free-to-play player, I'm more likely than not to not get every character. And I'm okay with that. Because I'm aware of what I'm going into. And most people playing gacha games nowadays should as well. More than likely, Enfield is not their first gacha game. Like, this is not defend company. This is like, okay, people, be fucking smart for once. Stop walking into the most obvious pitfalls known to mankind and then complaining that the pitfall was there. You saw it. You pointed that you saw it. You said it was an issue, and you still cannonballed into it, man. Like, I don't think it's unreasonable as me as a player that saw the rules, is following the rules, sees how to do the best with the rules that we have, pulls out these players that see the rules, know the rules, and still fall for them. Like, call me unreasonable if that's not the case, but like, that's how I feel. Oh! What an insane price. Oh! That's a 4K profit. Sorry, side tangent. Hey, I got them level 4 finally. Again, if y'all think I'm being unreasonable, please do call me out on it, right? Like, if you think I'm not being like honest, or if you think I'm missing out on something, or there's like a little bit of information that I'm not saying the truth on it, like, please do call me out. Because last thing I want to do is spread information that is not true, right? But everything I feel like I've said so far is just objective. There is nothing like that goes like, oh, that's subjective, like everyone can have a different experience on that. Or this is completely different for me, or this and that. Like, do call me out if that's the case. But like, for what I've said, I don't think I've lied about anything, and I think everything that I said is just truth. That can, like, objective truth. And I'm not even gonna go through with quote-unquote common sense shit. No, because whenever you hear someone say, I'm just saying common sense, like, legit run 10 miles away from them, because they are not saying common sense, and they're most likely just actually like awful people in disguise. I need to see, it was something EW, right? Ewids. Alright, let's go to them. Oh, I could just click here, right? I forgot. I can just go here, right click their, no, left click their name. I don't have to go all the way around. I don't know. Like, it's a bit of a rant, but like, you know, it's just that it's back to back from, like, this happening back to back for games to me. It happened with Sora, and it's happening again with Endfield, where people are just lying for the sake of lying and making the whole game experience feel worse. And then, like, the other thing is also like, so many of them are so hypocrites. It's actually crazy. And like, it all also stems from gacha tribalism. Like, oh no, my gacha is better than yours. Like, bro, come the fuck on, man. Also, that's another big price thing. That is 2.9. No, yeah, 2.9. And this is 900. Yeah, this is 20. No. Yeah, 2200. This is 3.1k actually. This is better. Fuck, I could have sold that now. I still gotta get used to the UI on selling stuff. Like doing this and clicking here. Wait, that just went up. That was not 4.6k. That was only 3.6k. Again, it is what it is. Just gotta deal with. We just gotta deal with people that are facetious on their concerns. Oh wait, I can go upgrade my bases. I don't need, like, I'm not gonna spend there. Here. So we have two options. You can go do Levitane's quest, or we can go do the production stuff. Or, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna make a script for the review to make it a bit more coherent, and just go record it. And like do it off stream because it's probably better. Okay, well, I'm gonna do that, and I also need to go have dinner either way. Just shorter stream, just to talk about these issues that I've had. With like stuff surrounding Infield, not even issues with Infield specifically. All I'm gonna say is Lamel Reboza Tectone, you fucking sexual assaultist, rapist, get fucked. Hope you go to jail. Anyone defending you, I hope they actually legit get the worst things in life. Thank you once again for watching the stream. Hope y'all have a good morning, a good evening, a good afternoon, or a good night, whatever that may be, of course. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.